Welcome to Redvee TV, supported by A-Star Recruitment for the 2020 season, as we reflect on Saints' 19-0 defeat here this evening at the Halliwell Jones Stadium, as the Wire fans celebrate like they've won the cup once again.
Yeah, big game for them though, isn't it? It is. It's a big game for them. They love it. We just turn up. They're just another Super League team.
Obviously, we were missing plenty of bodies tonight. Morgan Knowles, Kyle Amor, Tommy Mason, James Roby. And I thought when we had those out, I thought we'd still give it a good go this evening. Obviously, we've had the massive blow of Alex Walmsley going in the warm-up. Torn calf, we're led to believe. That's going to hurt us more than that defeat this evening.
Yeah, I think it cut to the big screen, and there were 7 lads sat up there who you think you put into that Saints team. The starters, aren't they? They're all starters, all bringing experience, all bringing something different to the lads who were out there. I'm looking back on that performance tonight.
I'm not too disappointed.
I think, the way that I put it in the first half, we weren't disciplined enough, we weren't composed enough, and people might argue that the referee's giving penalties against us. If you put yourself in that position, unfortunately, that's what's going to happen. The referee is going to ping you.
Do you think we got sucked into it a little bit? Because
Yes.
for Wire from early on looked like they just didn't really have much of a game plan. We're prepared to sling the ball about.
Yeah.
Did we go away from maybe our game plan a little bit, maybe knowing that we were missing bodies and try to force things that weren't there?
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think that it was almost reminiscent of the Challenge Cup, wasn't it? Where they played their game plan and we decided to get sucked into that and kind of start grubbing it out with them. As I say though, I think indiscipline did us, and then obviously you've got bodies coming in and being in positions that they're not necessarily used to. That doesn't help you at all. But as I say, I think it was just indiscipline that did us, especially first half. And then, listen, they've scored 3 tries all game. If I was a Warrington fan, I'm not going to be walking away from this completely on cloud 9.
For me, if we'd have played a Warrington side missing 7-8 bodies, I'd be wanting to put 50 on them.
Yeah.
I thought we had chances in that game as well. Listen, good Warrington defence kept us out. Kevin Garman on that right-hand side had good chances. Tommy Mason probably maybe scores them.
A proper wing.
I thought Lomax got that ball down at the end, by the way, especially if it goes up as a try. I see nothing to say that it wasn't. Ifs, buts and maybes, isn't it? But that said, I think I saw a really good tweet at half-time that came in to the Redvee Twitter account from another Kev, who basically said with the amount of bodies that we had out this evening, to get the result we needed to be 100% on our game to a man. And we weren't, were we?
No, we weren't. But that's it.
19's not 50, is it?
No, it's not, is it?
I wouldn't be celebrating that against half a Saints team.
I know.
Pond Life Corner at it again.
No, the performance, as you say, I think we've started this kind of wrestling in the tackle as well, haven't we?
I think that's one of the things that he's brought. He wanted to try and slow it down a little bit.
We're not good enough for that then. We're not used to doing it. We're not good enough for it at the minute, no. And not only that, I don't want to bag him straight up.
But it worked last week.
It did, but I don't want to bag Christian Wolf straight off. I thought at dummy half we needed something to be a little bit quicker as well. And we've got Aaron Smith who comes on for the last 20. Do you kind of mix that up a little bit more? Go back to the Roby Cunningham days where they used to do 20, 20, 20, 20. Yeah, you're using some of your interchanges there, but it gives you the option, especially when you are starting to lose bodies and you can move players around. You can turn around and start saying, well, Bentley can play centre, he can play loose forward, he's not going to stay in that 9 role, and just change things up.
I think for me, you can miss some of your backs, but when you lose half your pack, then you're not laying the platform for maybe your players coming in. And I thought we struggled a little bit tonight. Did you notice the lights dim?
Yes, when Nagama knocked on, I think.
When Nagama knocked on, there was an electrician on the roof.
All right.
Obviously, they're not paying the Lecky bill here in Warrington.
Yeah.
But do you know what? Any little advances at the home side gets. But I'm not going away disappointed. Listen,
I'm going away.
Will this Saints side finish top of this table?
I still
as long as the injuries don't match up. Yeah, by a country mile.
You start looking at it and you start wondering if the World Club Challenge game is going to be a long, long night with the injuries adding up. I mean, well, on the terraces, and you hear people like texting and tweeting and saying Alex Walmsley's done his calf, Mark Percival's got a chest injury. You're just hoping that something goes right and we do start getting Tommy Makinson back in, who was in the away end with us tonight. You start getting Morgan Knowles back in, and then you're starting to get them players who are so important back into the 17.
Now, with it being a couple of weeks to Sydney, we will discuss it more in depth next week on the preview show. We've got Hull coming up on a week on Sunday. I think 6 games before that World Club game. Do you potentially just, do you know what, not chuck it, but rest bodies and preserve them and give that World Club game a tilt? Because I was looking at the league table from 2019. Wigan finished second in the table with 11 losses. It's not the bit. You don't need to go full pelt like we did last season with only losing them 3. We could have lost another 7 and still finish top.
Can we do that though? Have we got the bodies to start throwing it? Because then you start putting your
but then do you rush people? Not rush people back, but
no. But people need game time. You look at Makinson, you look at Knowles, you look at what we've said about playing at Wembley and not having that match sharpness. It's not about being fit; it's about being match sharp.
So in reality, we'll just whatever happens. If it goes wrong, we'll just claim in hindsight we should have done something else.
Exactly. Yeah.
But yeah, 19-0. I think we're still above them.
Take that.
You'll take that.
Yeah, that's it. It's disappointing coming away after being nilled. It really, really is.
Yeah.
But
this is like how the other half live.
Yeah, but if you, as you say, if you take it back, if you strip it right down, listen, parts of that performance weren't good enough tonight. They weren't, no matter who's on the park.
Discipline at times, maybe.
Yeah, and composure as well. You look, there was a set, we got a penalty, and we're on the 3rd tackle, and we're in the middle of the park. And instead of just holding it, and I was on about this last year about Hull not being an honest team, sorry to bag you Hull fans, but Hull players even, where they would come out, be getting beat, and pretty much try and score off the first set after half time. And it was almost like we were trying to play the Saints way straight away, not be honest and get further up the pitch and kind of set yourself a platform, make them come out from their own try line, their own 10, 20. I think we just lacked a little bit there tonight. Is that down to our more experienced players being out? Possibly, but there was still enough out there to kind of guide us.
Yeah, I thought we did well in parts. I thought Matty Lee showed up well again.
Yeah.
Luke Thompson, but they were pretty much we weren't playing in pairs, were we? With our forwards, it was one out, one on, one off.
I think Louis went really well tonight. To be fair,
yeah,
I thought Louis went really, really well.
Warrington, you've won 19-0. This is going to be one of our biggest viewing figures all year. We get our biggest viewing figures when we get beaten. Yeah. It's usually because they'll be celebrating. Yeah. Well, yeah.
We'll see them all in the conference.
Enjoy the night. Listen, we said it. I think we were talking before the game, weren't we? And we don't understand, but there's too many games where that would have meant something.
Yeah.
In a first past the post system, that would have been a massive, massive win for Warrington. As it is, it's bragging rights at the moment, local bragging rights, isn't it? And that's what the league has become at this time of year.
We were on about that in the car on the way up, weren't we? That if this was first past the post after 24, 26 rounds, you'd be turning around going, that's a key defeat against someone who's going to be there or thereabouts. It's not, is it? As I said it unfortunately,
is that why you've got to celebrate it like it's a cup final?
Possibly, yeah. It's probably where they get the little bit of joy from the season.
Yeah. Not really much else to say, really, is there?
No.
Are you going to say hello?
No, I'm just listening.
You just can't be bothered watching us on YouTube later. That's one view down.
Redvee, I agree with just about everything you say. I think.
You're coming on it. You're on it now.
All right. Yeah. Brilliant. I think Warrington came out, started great last season, still halfway through the season, and then it all fell apart for them. And we continued strongly. I think tonight, we're missing 5 key players. You look at the bench, we've got Big Alex is out, Tommy's out, Lachlan's out, Morgan Knowles is out. So we're playing with a lot of different players in different positions tonight as well. And I know what you're saying about the 19-0. Is that bad? Well, it's bad. Nobody wants to get beat 19-0, do they? But I think at the same time, potentially, I think Christian, second game in, I think last week, obviously playing Salford, 48-8, we looked strong as anything, but at times there was just that little bit of lacking when it came to the finishing. I think we could have finished well over the 50 mark.
Potentially then, with the amount of bodies out, in the long term, does Christian Wolf learn more about his squad, being able to actually see them in a situation like that against a top team?
Top 5 team, I think definitely, and I think for me, I think Christian looking at that tonight, and all of a sudden he's thinking, hang on a minute, I've got the best team in Super League here. We've lost, 5 players, but I've still got a really strong team. I know what you're saying, 19-0 isn't that bad. Would Warrington have wanted to have done better? We've only given away 19 points. We're still top of the league. So I think Christian Wolf will be thinking, hang fire a minute, there's an opportunity here for us to develop these boys and look at different set plays and how can we get across that line. We defended well, we managed well in the middle of the field. I don't think we played the wings as well as we could have done, and I don't think we
is that a case of combinations? Obviously Costello and Agama one wing, and we end up with Percival going off, so on the other wing we end up with Grace and I think it was Payru out there in the end. So again, every single area of the field, the only things we had probably right was the halfback combination.
So that was the difference. So straight from the off, you've got Alex out, he's warming up. Next minute, he's not playing. Then all of a sudden, we take another couple of injuries during the game. We make a few schoolboy errors as well within it because we're swapping a few players about. So I think in the negatives, yeah, we got beat. Nobody wants to see Saints get beat,
Positives? I thought the defence was still pretty much all right, considering how much we had to defend as well.
I thought the defence was great. Man of the match for me, I thought Louis was brilliant tonight, really strong, drove the team forward. And then I think the movement throughout the night, then unfortunately shifting the players about just meant that we were a little bit entangled within ourselves. We were a little bit sort of lost at where should we be. And Warrington, unfortunately, they dragged us into their game. We didn't play our Saints game. And I think for me that was the issue.
And I think that's where we struggle at times when we do lose games. But do you know what? First loss since August, when we lost one that we won't talk about. But that's it. Right, before we let you go then, are you going back up Scotland or do you live down this way?
Live down this way now. Saints till I die.
You lucky man. You lucky man.
Saints till I die.
Right, what's your name?
Paul.
Cheers. Thank you for coming on, Paul. Thank you very much.
Nice to meet you, mate.
Right, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. It's not Primrose and Blue TV, but they've won the cup final, so
good luck to you.
Good luck to you. Catch you soon.